First Watch now.
What you need to know from the Cochise County Sheriff's Office.
Hosted by Cochise County Public Information Officers Carol Kappas and Grady Butler. First Watch on 92.3 KWCD.
And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, giving you an inside look into your sheriff's office. I'm Grady Butler, and with me is Carol Kappas, Public Information Officer with the Sheriff's Office, and Sheriff Mark Daniels. Good morning.
Good morning, Cochise County.
Hello, everyone.
And we're entering the 4th of July weekend.
Celebration time as we celebrate America's birthday.
Now, I know that fireworks are in question, so if they go in the air and explode, or if they simply explode, they're illegal.
Yes. Easier said than practiced.
Yes.
I'll just say that. I know throughout the county, that's a big call that we address is fireworks. And we want people to go out and celebrate. It's our birthday. I mean, it's the greatest country in the world. But we also want to be safe because there's a reason for those laws. And when you got those aerial fireworks, and luckily we've had a lot of rain, that takes a little bit of the pressure off, especially our fire folks and us. But still, we want to be safe.
Well, let's start with some of the stuff you did last week. You were in Kansas City.
I did. I flew out Saturday morning, went to Kansas City for a meeting on Sunday for National Sheriffs, my annual border meeting. We have 2 a year, but that's our annual conference where all sheriffs throughout the country come together. And so we had Border Patrol there. It was a really good meeting on Sunday. And by the way, I flew back Sunday night, got home about 11 o'clock at night. And it's been I think I got a little travel log here this week. But it was a good meeting. And the leadership from Border Patrol, let me just say, we have a very good partnership with CBP. Customs and Border Patrol. The senior folks were there, and they spoke to us about what's going on, and some of the things they shared with us. And since October 1 of 2021, which is a federal fiscal year, they've had 1.6 million encounters. Put that in perspective. Last year, in the entire year, they had 1.7 million. Kind of shows you the difference. It's on an increase. 400,000 gotaways on top of that. So over 2 million that we know right now. That's a nominal number. Their season encounters is about 7,500. He mentioned almost up to 8,000 a month. Now, where that's relevant, that's a lot of numbers, first of all. But where that's relevant, they can accommodate around 3,000 to 3,500, which pressures more releases. And that's what they're telling us. Family units automatically release. Pending a severe exception, they're released. 157 countries have breached our southwest border. Last year we had 164. So again, we're going to match that. And when you look at it, this is the sad part. 16,300 search and rescue deployments that's just Border Patrol. It doesn't include your sheriff's offices. That's Border Patrol's search and rescue operations and events. Sadly, and we saw what happened in San Antonio this week with the 53 migrants that died, along with the 480, that's 533 migrants have died on the southwest border since October 1st. Folks, that is inhumane. And as sheriffs, and I've said on this station, public safety, national security, and humanitarian. So there's a reason we need a secure border and a manageable border, and the stats alone have shown those aren't there. Something the Arizona HIDTA director who spoke at our conference shared with us is this is that war on drugs I keep talking about. Arizona leads the southwest region for fentanyl seizure incidents. We've had 2,175 incidents of fentanyl. Those are like traffic stops, search warrants, whatever. The closest one behind us is California with 1,400. So it just kind of gives you an idea. New Mexico's got 622, and Texas has 240. So again, we lead the southwest border region in fentanyl. That's scary when you look at the 300 overdoses. So again, I chaired that meeting in Kansas City. It was kind of sad, I'll just say that, compared to the previous meetings we've had, because the answers and solutions aren't on the table. What's on the table is collective badges working together to do the best they can. But we're missing a lot of elements to include our federal government.
And something that you were getting a lot of calls on yesterday, and I'm sure a lot of people were, but you specifically, was on the new thing from the Supreme Court in reference to return to Mexico. And so you had an overall statement on that. So could you just tell people what your thoughts are? Because I think that that's first and foremost in a lot of people's minds.
This was an executive order called the MPP, Migrant protective protocol. And it simply means if you claim credible fear on our ports, on our southern border, you wait in Mexico until it's adjudicated. President Biden rescinded that. It was challenged up to the SCOTUS, the Supreme Court, where they said no, President Biden can rescind that. It's an executive order. I'm really shocked, I'll just say this first of all, that it got that high. I respect the court. I do. I don't always agree with our courts. I mean, I don't know anybody that does, but I respect their component of the criminal justice system. What that means to us, we really deal with 99 to 100% of gotaways. These are people who are not giving up. So we're not seeing the MPP program exercised a lot here in Cochise County. Ours are the high risk, I got to get away type folks, camouflage from head to toe. That's pretty much the entire Tucson sector, to include Cochise County. So I don't know what's going to mean here for us. What I've been asking back on that question on the media, which has been the last 48 hours, is where do we go from here, though? Once again, I see a measure that was working. People thought that was inhumane. Well, I go back to the 533 that have died on these border counties, to include Cochise County. That is inhumane. And where is Congress in this? Where's our administration in this? Why are we not addressing this in a way that is humane, protects public safety, the rule of law, and national security? Is it frustrating? You bet it is, because we don't have that engagement. I mean, you can talk to a Border Patrol, they're frustrated. I talked to a Border Patrolman yesterday that walked up and said, I hadn't got a chance to meet you. He was out of Miami, stationed here. And he goes, I just want to say thank you for everything you're doing, Sheriff, and thank you for the partnership. We have a very positive, constructive relationship, but we have to have our federal administration. They're absent right now. They truly are. Not the ones wearing a badge either.
Well, let's talk about the budget that has just passed by the state. We got some money for the Cochise County Jail.
We do. Let me highlight a couple things first. There was $20 million in there. Sheriffs did really well for school safety, and I'm yielding to our school superintendents here in Cochise County and Miss Jackie Clay. Second of all, there's a ton of border security money that we are now looking at and see how that fits our priorities, our needs. That's in progress. And last but not least, we got $20 million for our jail. I want to thank our state legislative folks for supporting us down here. We are still working with Governor Ducey and his team see if they can help us. We still have to raise quite a bit of money for that jail, but $20 million is not pennies. That's a lot of money that helps seed the project, number one, but number two is offsets cost for our taxpayers here in Cochise County. So again, thank you for our state. A lot of people are, why are we funding the jail in Cochise County? Well, the counties are components of states. That's why they do it, but also the need is high here. And public safety is not just Cochise County, it's a state issue too. So we thank them all.
And remind everybody of kind of the state of the jail now. It was built in the 80s.
It was. It's 38 years old. The lifespan of a jail is 20 years, max. We've almost doubled that. We've got our money out of this jail. But sadly, thanks to NIJO, National Institute of Jail Operations, and construction engineers that build jails, both have said it's time for a new one. These are experts. And I know that too. I'm no expert, but I can tell you right now, it's not up to industry standards. It's a money pit for the taxpayers. It's time to move forward, get a progressive, industry-driven facility in there that can take care of the people that we have to safeguard.
And you were in Kansas City, and you said you came back late Sunday night, but you specifically came back so you could be in our county to meet Sheriff from Georgia. So Sheriff Gary Long came from Butts County, Georgia, with his group. There were 6 people in the group, and they got a tour of Cochise County, got to ride along with you, got to see some excitement and see how we do things here in Arizona versus Georgia.
Yeah, I took the sheriff out and also a retired fire chief from the Atlanta metro area, Michael Ware, who I learned was actually a country singer. So look up Michael Ware, Atlanta, Georgia. You can see his songs. He's an amazing singer. He's a big supporter of law enforcement and, of course, firefighters, public safety. Took him over to the Service to Fire. He met Brian Jones and the team and firefighters yesterday for a few minutes. And then they had 4 of their folks from Butts County, Georgia. Their folks come out here and ride along with my team. And so it was a great visit. I appreciate Sheriff Long is just down-to-earth guy. super guy. He's been a sheriff, got elected the same year I did in 2012, but he's a go-getting, working sheriff out there, and well respected among his peers. I know a few of the sheriffs in Georgia have really spoke highly of him. So thank you, Sheriff, for coming out. Thanks for all the ones that joined him, and even bringing the firemen out here. So again, it was a good time.
And Michael's not only a fireman, but he's a SWAT medic too. So a couple SWAT medics, a couple K-9 guys, investigator, and the sheriff. So really good group of people.
They were just down to earth. I mean, they couldn't have been more. And I got the opportunity to go out and work in interdiction one night with the sheriff and the fire chief riding with me, and we had a good old time out there.
And you also got to go to a chain of command ceremony. Change of command.
I did. Last Friday, they had the military intelligence change of command for the commander, the colonel, and homegrown. We all know the name, Brennan Deaver. He spent 20-some years in the military, worked his way up to colonel. He is now the new commander, colonel, for the military intelligence battalion up on Fort Huachuca. So I got to go up there and embrace the Deaver family, Brennan, and the military. We have such a good partnership with them up there on Fort Huachuca, and with General Hale and all the folks up there. So it was a nice event. And you know what the best parts of it is? The B Troop. When they do the charge across Brownfield, there's something so impressive on that. But so congratulations, Brennan, and we wish you well there for the next couple of years.
And you also met with the Deputy Chief of Border Patrol on Tuesday.
Yes. Deputy Chief Matthew Hudak came to Cochise County. He used to work here years ago, worked in 5 different sectors along the southwest border. I met him in Laredo, Texas, as the sector chief out there. He is now the number 2 in Border Patrol in Washington, D.C. So they reached out to me last week and said, hey, he'd like to come have lunch with you and Brian McIntyre, our county attorney. So we met him in Douglas on Tuesday and had lunch with them, and it was really just to say thank you for the relationship we have with Border Patrol and all the work, collective work that we do together. And I've said this, Sheriff's Office can't do this alone, Border Patrol can't do it alone, Sierra Vista, Douglas, all the agencies, troopers, we're working together for a common goal, and that's to make this a safer county. So it was nice of it to see him at the visit. We spent about 2 hours with him, and he's a good guy. So thank you, Deputy Chief, for coming and seeing us.
And speaking of border issues, there was a situation where, again, Safe Streets case that was implemented, and a Department of Public Safety vehicle actually ended up getting smashed into, so that's never good. Thank goodness that nobody was seriously injured in that event.
And our guests from Georgia were out there on this, working with our Safe Street operations, our SABRE team, and what happened was several vehicles loaded up, and that's what happens. They're loading all at the same time, they're taking off. Vehicle took off. The vehicle was a stolen vehicle. Some people might have seen this last, I believe it was Monday night. Vehicle was stolen. It had loaded up with migrants that legally crossed into this county. Border Patrol got involved. DPS got involved. Our folks were involved. Spiked the vehicle right there at Ramsey Canyon 92. The vehicle was going over 100 miles an hour in the opposite lane of traffic. Once again, my biggest fear is harm on our citizens. They spiked it. It actually ended up colliding with a DPS trooper car, took off running, and proceeded to actually fight law enforcement. There were drugs in the car. Again, the car was stolen. The weapon that was utilized during the robbery, it was actually a carjacked, armed carjacked out of northern area of the state here that they took the vehicle from. It just shows you the severity of what we're concerned about here in the county. I commend the law enforcement when they boxed him in. It was a great. I went by there. By the time I got there, everybody was in custody, but they had him boxed in custody, and there was 5, I believe, in the vehicle. Don't quote me on that. I think it was 5 in the vehicle that were turned over to Border Patrol. He's in our jail and on $250,000. I think it was $250,000 bond. Again, thank you to our county attorney. Thank you to our citizens for supporting this, because that is the rule of law with consequences, and we're going to continue doing that till this stops.
And what is your stop of the week?
Sadly, it falls into a border. Working interdiction there night, about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, whatever it was. Stopped the vehicle up on I-10 and just west of the 302 exit. Registration issue. Walked up, and the passenger, the driver, and then I looked in the back seat, and there's the same guy that just got picked up less than 2 hours before for smuggling. That was his 6th smuggling, where he got the first 5 or 6 successful, where he wasn't caught. He got caught that night 2 hours before, and he's back in the vehicle again. There were some drug issues with the vehicle. The passenger had a fugitive warrant out of state of Washington. She was wanted out of Washington. He was actually, and I'm just going to say this, he was working off a cartel debt for fentanyl pills. So think about that. I mean, so he's desperate because if he doesn't fulfill it, one of his family members, close individual, one of his loved ones, was threatened because if he doesn't fulfill it. Folks, that's real. And that's, within a couple hours of working this detail, that's what we saw. I mean, it just amazes me. And the guy told me, yes, I'm working this off and I'm smuggling in your county, Sheriff. So again, that's a concern. That's a concern that we have to change that behavior on. It's inhumane for the people being smuggled, but number two is it's darn right criminal. It's darn right criminal. And it's attracting some very undesirables come to this county to make a profit for the cartels who are ruthless and don't care anything about this country or our citizens. So again, that's my stop of the week. We addressed some charges on that, some offenses that we applied at the state level. That's about all we can do, but we'll continue that up. We'll continue the fight.
And so coming up Monday, being the holiday, we're definitely going to have you all over Cochise County. The Sheriff's Office will be participating in a lot of parades
all over
and
the county.
Events that are happening. So get ready for that. You're running from Benson to Bisbee to make sure you're on both of those. So we also have Grady put the list together for us too. We're going to be in Tombstone. We're going to be in Benson. We're going to be in Sunsites. We are going to be in Palominas and
Douglas.
Yes, so we're all over the place. So make sure that you just take a look at us while we're out there, and we'll be happy to shake your hands.
You know, the toughest part about being a sheriff is not being able to go to all these different parades. I mean, I like to go to all of them, and if they spread them out during the week, I would make them all. So I'll be in Benson in the morning for the 9 o'clock parade, and then run down to Bisbee for their 11 o'clock parade, and that's tradition. I do it every year, and those are my two parades for the year for them. And but they're great parades, and again, we're all coming together to celebrate. Again, it's been a tough year and a half when it comes to COVID and the health pandemic, so it's nice to see everybody coming out again.
Well, let's give your safety message for the 4th of July weekend.
Well, this is a celebration holiday. It's a birthday. It's our country's birthday, our nation's birthday. Please don't drink and drive. Let's not ruin our birthday for a bad decision. So have a safe 4th of July. Embrace your family, embrace the barbecues, embrace your neighbors and communities, but please don't drink and drive. Be safe, everyone.
Well, Sheriff Mark Daniels, we thank you for coming and talking to us today.
Grady, Carol, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Happy 4th, everyone.
First Watch on KWCD Country is brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
It's First Watch Now.
Hosted by Public Information Officer Carol Kappas and Grady Butler.
On 92.3 KWCD.
And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, giving you an inside look into your Sheriff's Office. I'm Grady Butler, and with me is Carol Kappas, Public Information Officer with the Sheriff's Office, and our next guest.
Welcome back, Cochise County. And we have Tim Wachtel, Sierra Vista Police Department. Thanks for coming.
Good morning. Good morning, Cochise County.
So there's going to be a DUI task force on Monday. We're going to get to that in just a bit. But first, let's talk about some fireworks safety and laws and rules. What kind of fireworks are legal and illegal?
So basically, it's pretty simple, and I heard the sheriff talk about this earlier this morning. Is the fireworks you can set off are ones that stay on the ground. So basically, if the fireworks go up in the air, it's a no-go. So my recommendation to anybody, and have fun Monday night. It's our birthday, but keep the fireworks on the ground. We don't need the big nice ones up in the air. Obviously, the city and the Rotary Club are having their own fireworks show. So, and the other thing is private property. For instance, we recommend, and you can't go out on city property and sell fireworks. You have to remain on private property to set your fireworks off, and again, make sure they stay on the ground.
You also can't even go, like at your own house, into the street with them.
That's correct. The street's city property, so when I say private property, that doesn't mean just go out to the middle of the street in front of your house. Unfortunately, that is city property. So when I say private property, it's actually private property. So stay on your property, have a good night, but stay safe.
Well, let's talk about the DUI task force that's coming up on Monday.
So yeah, not only do we have the fireworks show that we're working, we're the Southeastern Arizona DUI Task Force. We're also going to conduct a saturation detail in the service area Monday night from 4 o'clock until midnight. So again, folks, just like the fireworks go, have a good time, but plan ahead and be safe. If you want to go out and have a good time after the fireworks show, by all means have a good time, but plan ahead, and that's the key, is plan ahead.
And you're going to be super, super busy with both events, but parking's always so much fun when you're talking about 4th of July. So tell us a little bit about what some of the game plan is for where you can park and what you should be doing.
So where you can park, basically we have two areas where it's going to be the most individuals will be parking. Obviously, Vets Park. You can park at Vets Park and watch the fireworks there. You can also park down at the fireworks show itself, down off Tacoma and Las Brisas. So basically, really it's first come, first serve down there. They are limiting who can park as far as all the way down, as far as the VIP and the special guests go. So we do have parking lots down there by the ball fields that you can park in, but it's going to be crowded down there.
What happens if you're driving on the bypass and you pull off to the side of the road?
That's a no-go.
Okay.
You'll get in trouble. So that's good. Good question. Thanks for bringing that up. So the bypass itself, the Highway 90, will be shut down at 6 o'clock, and that will be shut down from Coronado all the way over to Campus Drive.
And so if you're
by
parked,
Walmart.
if you're parked off of Campus Drive in that area, you have to be careful too, because that's ingress egress to like housing areas and whatnot.
Yep.
So if you park there and you shut down the bypass, you're pretty much stuck.
You are, and we'll be out there. We'll be patrolling it. So if you are on the bypass in between our two shut-off points, you will be asked to leave. But folks, don't try to be sneaky and park where you're not supposed to park, because we'll be out there patrolling the area.
Is there anywhere else that they're really not supposed to go?
Really, the focus thing that we are looking at is mostly the bypass. We recommend you don't park in the state land. All the just like we had the situation with the Christmas parade. All that land behind Walmart is all federal and state land. So you could park probably at Walmart. I don't want to speak for Walmart itself, but obviously Walmart's parking lot's a public parking lot. So, but yeah, stay off the bypass itself, and that goes for any of our city streets. I mean, don't try to just pull off on the shoulder. Just best thing to do is find a parking lot somewhere. But like I said, it's going to be first come, first serve. So I would recommend, if you plan on parking anywhere, get out there pretty early.
Now let's talk about all weekend long. I mean, the celebration kind of starts tomorrow because it's a 3-day weekend, but we don't want you to drink and drive, but we do want you to have those designated drivers, and you love finding those at the DUI task force.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of people think we're out there to get stats, to find impaired drivers, but not only do we report those stats to the Governor's Office of Highway Safety, we also report stats when we find designated drivers, because that's important too. That just shows you planned ahead. So again, have a good time, but just like we mention all the time, everybody knows what you're going to do that night, so just plan ahead, find a designated driver or a taxi service, and get home safely.
And do you have any sponsors you want to thank for this one?
We do. The Citizens Police Academy Associates, our own internal group at the police department, so they're actually going to cook up a barbecue for us Monday night before the task force. So we'll have a little bit of barbecue. I say task force, and for the fireworks detail itself, they're going to feed all of us. So we'll have a briefing. We'll eat Monday night. We'll have a quick briefing amongst all of us, and then we'll be out there hitting the road along with working the firework detail.
Well, we appreciate you letting us know about the DUI task force.
You're welcome, and thank you.
That's Tim Wachtel from the Sierra Vista Police Department. And Carol, who do we have coming in next?
We have Randy Susskind from the Rotary Club and Adam Curtis from the City of Sierra Vista.
KWCD Country First Watch, brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
It's First Watch Now.
Hosted by Public Information Officer Carol Campus and Grady Butler.
On 92.3 KWCD.
And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative. I'm Grady Butler, and with me is Carol Campus, Public Information Officer with the Sheriff's Office. And now we're going to talk about everything 4th of July. We got Randy Susskind from the Rotary Club and also Adam Curtis from the City of Sierra Vista. Good morning, guys.
Good morning. Good morning.
So let's start with you, Adam. Before we get to the 4th of July stuff, I want to jump ahead because you guys have got a new event that you're starting out on the West End. Let's talk about that real quick.
Yeah, that's right. So after we hosted West Fest, kind of celebrating the completion of the new streetscape in the West End, we wanted to kind of continue that momentum. So we're going to be hosting, we're kind of facilitating more so. We're not staffing this heavily, but we're basically going to be kind of closing down the street in the West End, kind of like for West Fest, but a little smaller. So between Fab Avenue and North Garden Avenue, we're going to have live music and then vendors. So basically arts and crafts vendors and food vendors. This is going to be on Friday nights starting July 15th, running through August 5th. So that's Friday nights from 6 to 10 p.m. So it's basically kind of like a Friday night out in the West End, like a little mini kind of street fair atmosphere. So we're just kind of lightly facilitating everything, getting some entertainment and vendors out there, and then letting the businesses kind of take advantage of this too, and letting residents kind of get out there and check out the new improvements, and also any businesses that they may not know about out there, and kind of just have a good night out in the West End.
It sounds like it's going to be a really fun event. I'm sure we'll be talking about that as we get closer to it and while it's going on as well.
Yeah, so that's called West End Arts, Beats, and Eats. There's info on our website and on social media, too, if anyone looks for that. And there's info on how to apply to be a vendor as well.
All right, well, let's get to the 4th of July weekend, and there's something happening tomorrow at Veterans Memorial Park.
That's right. So, yeah, you can start the Independence Day fun a little early over at Lynn Roberts Park for a special Independence Day edition of Wreck and Roll. So these are free, family-friendly events that have, like, arts and crafts, games for kids, that kind of stuff. This will have kind of an Independence Day spin to it, so those kind of themed crafts and that kind of stuff. That'll be Saturday, July 2nd, 10 a.m. to noon at Lynn Roberts Park. And then we can roll into the 4th of July proper and the 3rd of July street dance, which Randy can get into.
All right, Randy. So then Randy's with the Rotary Club here in Sierra Vista. First of all, give us a brief summary of what the Rotary Club is.
Rotary Clubs are a international civic organization that we work in our local communities to enrich the communities with different projects having to do with kids, water, safety, and those type of things. And one of the things that we do in the Sierra Vista community is, this is year 55, we put on the 4th of July celebration and fireworks. Excellent.
So let's talk about where the events begin after the city's event. Where do you guys start?
Actually, it starts on Sunday, July 3rd, with a street dance that is actually done by the Kiwanis Club, Just Kids Incorporated. And the street dance, the band will be Gigi and the Glow, and that starts at 5 o'clock on Sunday night at Veterans Memorial Park, and the band comes on at 7. There will be food vendors, adult beverages, water and soda for everybody else, and just come on out and have a good time and enjoy the band. And then that goes till about 11 o'clock, and then we get started bright and early on Monday morning of July 4th to kick off the events, and we kick that off with the Pets and People Promenade, which is hosted by you.
I will host that, yes.
And it is presented by New Frontier Animal Medical Center, and that will be in Veterans Memorial Park as well at Ramada 1. And then the entertainment on the pavilion stage starts at 9 a.m. in the morning, and it will go on through till 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. We start with a invocation, then we'll have a local Boy Scout troop and American Heritage Girls. Then we have a live entertainment with Brandon Sanchez. Then we have the Salute to the Union ceremony, which used to be the noon ceremony, but since it starts at 11:30, it's the Salute to the Union, and it's a 50-state salute with cannon fire, and then we have an F-16 flyover.
My favorite part, by the way.
And the guest speaker for that event, it is Major General Eubank from NETCOM on Fort Huachuca, and our Sierra Vista Rotary Club president MCs the program. And then after that, the entertainment continues on the stage with the Sierra Vista Community Band. Then we have some martial arts schools, gymnastics schools, dance schools, and then the evening band is Desert Fever, and they will go on before the fireworks at about 7, and then they'll take a break during the fireworks, so everybody in the park just has to look up, and you'll see the fireworks go off. And then actually, if you really want to see the fireworks up close with the entire show, with ground show and aerials, the place you want to be is at the Stone Sports Complex at the end of Tacoma, and it's a great place to go hang out and watch an incredible fireworks show.
And if there's rain in the forecast, do the fireworks go off no matter what?
Rain in the forecast, fireworks will go rain or shine, unless for some reason there is lightning really close, but we have never had lightning close enough that it has ever made a difference. Hopefully, if there is rain, it's light, and it comes either right before or right after.
And the fireworks start at about 8:15.
The fireworks start about 8:15, right around dusk. There will be presentation of the colors at the Stone Complex. Linda Daling will sing the national anthem. Then the 1812 overture will start. Then cannons will go, and then the fireworks.
Okay, so this is, we say this every year, but I really love saying it. We have the best finale in the state.
Absolutely. And that is been told by us multiple times by our fireworks supplier, who they supply the majority of the fireworks shows in the entire state.
That's excellent. So we have proof that we are the best fireworks finale in the state of Arizona.
I also want to point out that it is a hand-fused show, and all of the people on the pyrotechnic crew are all volunteer.
That's excellent.
From your community to put this on for you.
Well, we really appreciate the Rotary Club and all the volunteers that make this happen to help us celebrate America and just entertain us for the evening. That's really great. We're going to get to some sponsors in just a minute, Randy.
Okay.
But first I want to go back over to Adam. We were talking before we went on the air about drones. Let's talk about drones for a moment.
Yeah, so we just want to remind people that it's kind of like a no-drone zone in city parks and sports fields. So while it might seem like a fun idea to bring out your drone while you're getting ready for the fireworks out in the sports fields, please do not do that. You need permission to operate drones in the parks, and that's really only through the city for some special circumstances. Bolin Airfield is the one spot in town on public land where you can do your drone activities. So for the 4th of July stuff, please leave your drone at home. And then also another kind of safety tip I want to remind folks about is there's going to be a lot of loud noises, particularly during the noon ceremony, the Salute to the Union ceremony. There's a 50 cannon salute. So while it's great to bring your pets out in the morning for the Pets and People Promenade, to bring them back home and make sure they're safe and comfortable and do whatever you need to do, because there will be some loud noises midday and then also at night during the fireworks show. But I am super excited to hear that our fireworks display is happening. I know Phoenix had to cancel theirs, I believe, and there's been supply chain issues. So in particular this year, it's going to be a great fireworks show in Sierra Vista, and we're very lucky to be able to do that.
All right, Randy, besides the Rotary Club, who else makes this possible?
Well, actually, it is all done with corporate and private donations, and we don't use any public funds to pay for these fireworks. We generate all the funds through our local community, and one of the ways we do that is getting corporate sponsors to help sponsor it. And our red, white, and blue sponsors, which are sponsors that give us $5,000 or more, is Vinny's New York Pizza. And I have to say that Chip and the crew at Vinny's New York Pizza went above and beyond this year. And then we have Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, K101, KWCD, and Thunder 98.1. So we thank you guys for what you do.
Our pleasure.
And the Sierra Vista Herald Review. And then we have Patriot sponsors, which are the next level. And this year, we've had the most corporate sponsorship that we've ever had in the past. And this year, those Patriot sponsors are Pioneer Title, Jacobs, Stan Greer Millworks, the Greer family, Guild Mortgage, Randy Suskin, Williams Mello.
Got to get your name in there, too.
Lawley Automotive Group, and I can't really read the list, sorry. Pepsi, I'm just going to do it from memory. Guild Mortgage again, the Leon team at Nova Home Loans, Ace Hardware, Sierra Toyota, sorry. Anyway, I hope I didn't miss anybody, but we thank you all for what you do, and this is going to be a fantastic event.
All right, we look forward to it, and it all starts tomorrow in the park. Remind us one more time what that one is.
Yeah, so it's our Wreck and Roll Independence Day edition, July 2nd, 10 a.m. to noon, Lynn Roberts Park.
Okay.
And also mention the 4th of July celebration, everything is held in kind of conjunction with the city of Sierra Vista and Fort Huachuca, so we're very proud to be public partners of this event, too.
Excellent, awesome. And then Saturday night, the event starts at... Sunday night? Yeah,
Sunday night, the event starts at 5 o'clock.
And then Monday morning, it's at 8 a.m. with the Pets and People Promenade.
And actually, they're doing registration
At 7.
At 7.
Yes.
If you didn't sign up online, you can still register in the morning. But if they'd like you to go to New Frontier Animal Medical Center's website and register prior, but they will take registrations in the morning.
And that website is newfrontieramc.com. Well, both of you, we thank you for coming in. Randy Suskin with the Rotary Club and Adam Curtis with the City of Cedar Vista. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
First Watch on KWCD Country is brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
You've been listening to First Watch with the Cochise County Sheriff's Office.
Hosted by Cochise County Public Information Officers Carol Kappas and Grady Butler.
Join us again next Friday morning, 7 to 8 a.m.
First Watch.
What you need to know from the Cochise County Sheriff's Office.
Only on 92.3 KWCD.